50 ass nigga, he the 69 God. Hey, 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 run for your life. Hey, 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 run for your life. Let me hear you say OV ho. OV ho. Say OV ho. OV ho. Then step this way, step that way. Then step this way, step that way. Are you my friend? Are we locked in? Then step this way, step that way. Then step this way, step that way.
Yeah. Welcome to the A Couple of Things podcast with your boy Alex G alongside Mal. And we are here to talk about a couple of things.
A lot of things.
A lot of things. First and foremost.
Yeah, we got to catch people up to speed, though.
Gotta catch everybody up. So
we've been gone for 2 weeks, right?
We've been gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly 2 weeks ago. Today we were at my cousin's wedding in Charlotte. Well, actually, we were on our flight back already at this point. And then the next day, the Sunday, the 21st, we left to Antigua. I don't know how to say Antigua.
Antigua.
We don't know how to say it, but
whatever.
And then while we was there, I got engaged. We got engaged.
Yes, we do.
So yeah, a couple things. Podcast is officially an engaged couple.
Yeah, a couple of married people.
A couple of married people.
Couple of married people.
Yeah, I know it was a long time coming for some people. I mean, we were together for 9 years, but we're college sweethearts. We've been together since we were 17, 18, so we're only 27. 9 years is not a crazy amount of time when you're dating at a young age. So I just think it's funny when people say that stuff, but then they themselves aren't married or engaged. Like,
no.
I still beat you to it, though. Like, what? But okay. But yeah, that's where we've been.
Yep, and we moved.
We moved. Yeah, duh. New space. New ring, newly engaged, new apartment.
Job.
I got started on a new job on Monday. Winning season, like when you're a good person, you just always win in life. So
that's why if you guys see this is a little bit of a temporary setup that we got for now while we figure out brand new furniture and.
Cause our blue painting, we don't want to hang up here. Like that was our first place that we were in. Like so, we were 24 at the time. We didn't really know our style. Like we knew our style, but we didn't really know how to decorate an apartment yet. So we kind of just rushed it. But now we have a solid idea what we want. Like it's gonna be really fire, but it's gonna take time. Obviously, we just spent $4,000 something each just be here. So we gotta we're gonna was it $4,000 each or $2,000 each? Oh, it was 20. It was $2,000 each. Yeah, I was like, well, $4,000 each, $2,000 something each. So we want to get our new rug, a new coffee table.
400, I think.
Yeah. New rug, coffee table, couch, artwork, plants, bedroom set. So we have a lot. We basically are redoing our whole apartment. We're not doing the fake plants no more.
It's gonna be a real plant.
We have floor-to-ceiling windows, so we have really nice sunlight. We got water views. Winning that life. It's just sometimes doesn't feel real. We really did the thing. So yeah, a lot of changes. Yeah. A lot of changes in 2 weeks. So and we tried to film 2 weeks ago. When we came back from Charlotte, but we just couldn't do it. We were so exhausted.
Too tired.
And then last Saturday, we were just nah, we got to prepare to move. So we back.
We're here.
And we have a lot to
talk about. A lot to talk about. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right. So let's jump right into it. There's been a lot of disses that are going back and forth now at this point between Drake and Kendrick. We didn't do the tailor-made freestyle review because timing-wise we weren't in the state, so we couldn't record.
Yeah.
But so we didn't do that one. We did push-ups, but now we should just do a holistic view of everything that has come out because it's been crazy.
A lot. We have altogether 7 diss tracks, and if you want to include that as the first thing, is 8.
Yeah. So
it's a lot in a week, basically. That came out a while ago, but we got literally all other 7 in a week.
Yeah, so
2 weeks.
I guess to backtrack for anybody that hasn't seen at least our push-ups review, I'm just gonna give a quick rundown of how I feel about everything. So I didn't think necessarily was a diss track. I think it had diss lines in it, but a diss track to me is the whole song is dedicated to dissing this one person. So it was just the initiation of it. Push-ups I thought was good. There were some lines in there where I wasn't really necessarily rolling with, kind of even the whole concept of the drop and give me 50 when we know Drake notoriously has had a really bad deal with being signed to 3 different people. Yeah, that's been a known fact for years. And
we called it out too. We're saying that was a stupid bar.
Yeah, but aside from that, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good enough response to that. And then after that, we got tailor-made freestyle, which I hated conceptually because I feel like the whole AI thing was kind of corny, even though it was Drake's bars itself. The whole concept was like
It
whack
was so
to me.
yeah, like for me, I couldn't even really even listen to the bars because like it was throwing me off. I'm like,
Yeah.
Tupac's been dead since I literally since I was born, like 3 days before I was born.
I get what the angle was,
Why
but
am I hearing this?
I thought the concept was like weird to me. Like
Yeah.
just for me, if it's a diss back and forth, just go back and forth at each other.
Yeah,
And-
like why are we bringing up Snoop Dogg and Tupac? Like I get the angle because he's trying to do the whole like I know this gonna hit a sore spot because this is the California people. Like I'm trying to come at you using California, but it's corny.
Yeah, it was
And I
corny.
hate when he does stuff like that. Like he moves the goalposts. Like keep it 1 versus 1. Like
Yeah, but whatever. So push-ups good. Tailor-made freestyle. What we get after that was
we got Euphoria.
Euphoria. That's so crazy that was the response to that.
Yeah. When you
Euphoria.
think about Euphoria, like literally, like I think I sent it to you, right?
Yeah, I think
I was like,
yeah,
Kendrick
dropped,
finally
yeah.
dropped, and then like
And literally, I was at work,
Yeah,
so
you at work,
I couldn't
yeah.
even listen to it
you
necessarily.
do on your lunch break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at first, I just looked up the lyrics, and I'm like, because usually when I look up lyrics, just straight lyrics to a song, usually doesn't hit like that.
Yeah.
But then I read them. I was like, nah, I had to go listen to it, and not even on no bias shit. I feel like Euphoria at the time when it dropped, before the other songs, and we'll get to those, was the best diss track I've ever heard personally.
It's still my favorite of all of them that dropped, to be honest, actually.
Yeah.
But the one that just dropped tonight, though, I got, like it's up there.
It's
Like
good,
Euphoria is
yeah.
still like my favorite though, because like it's just a good. The beats are good, like the bars are catchy bars. Like you know, it's fun, but it's also like a diss. You know, and I
Yeah.
like the combination of like it's fun. Like I could listen to it. I could play it in the gym. Like I could play it in the car.
Yeah, I want to quickly expound on why I think it's the best diss track I've ever heard. I think that the story of Adidon was good in the sense that it was talking about character and not about numbers, not talking about a bunch of shit that doesn't matter. So I thought that was the best part about the story of Adidon. I know everybody likes to get caught up in the, somebody has scathing hot tea. Like,
Yeah.
nah, I don't care about the kid thing. That wasn't it for me. I think when people are making diss songs and they're talking to this person's soul,
Yeah.
that's what makes a song good.
The kid thing was just the catch. Like that was just the
Yeah.
kicker. But everything else is what we loved about the diss. Like
Yeah.
broke him down.
Let's
Broke
talk
it-
about your
Like, you
pride.
know, we're gonna talk about that soon. Obviously, to Meet the Grams, where Kendrick did it, but Pusha T really kind of started that whole let's break the family structure down. Like he broke the nigga family tree down. Like
Yeah.
why you are the way you are. Let's talk about your whole character. Let's talk about like he talked about the blackness and his confusion and being biracial and not growing the fro.
Mm-hmm.
So he just really dismantled him, and I feel like he kind of gave Kendrick some of that leadway, I would say a little bit. Like I'm sure Kendrick felt that way too, but it's kind of like Pusha T really put that out there, really like. And I think did Joe Budden do that approach when he was dissing Drake?
Yeah.
So
He did.
a lot of
It's
people,
just been a thing.
yeah.
So I thought Euphoria was the best of all time because, and I know people are gonna hate that. They're gonna say hit 'em up,
Ether.
Ether, yeah, take over, all those different things. I think where those songs, not that they lack anything per se, but for lack of a better term, I think that what they lack is that character breakdown where you're
Yeah.
really speaking about this person specifically and who they are as a person.
Yeah, 'cause all those disses were like, I F your girl and this and that. Like it's all
Yeah,
like
it's-
trying to hurt a man's ego. Like no, let's talk about like break this nigga down, who he is. Break him down to his core.
Yeah. So that's what I appreciated
Yeah.
the most about it.
Yeah.
Best one, I honestly, and that's not even on like some Kendrick riding thing. It's
No,
just
literally.
it literally was just that good.
Yeah.
to
Like
me.
we respect obviously the old heads, right? But like it's just different now.
Yeah.
Like Pusha T was still up there for me. As far
Yeah,
as this.
I think that Added On was just too short. Kendrick got 6 minutes to break him down over time.
Yeah.
So I think it was the same concepts, the same kind of entendres and everything like that. It just wasn't as long. And Kendrick got technical ability to rap, like it's just
Yeah.
people can't touch it. So
And then just like his playfulness sometimes too, like the voices and stuff.
yeah,
like,
making fun of Canada.
And that's why Euphoria for me, like I said, sticks out because I like the making fun, like the voices, like what is the braids or like
Yeah.
the push the T. Like I like the funny catchy bars, but it's still like I'm shitting on you, I'm coming for you, but like it's almost
You
like it's
playing
almost
with your
like
food.
yeah, it's almost like you clowning him almost like I'm making funny noises and like I'm like doing funny things with my voices. Like it's like I'm laughing at you. Like
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep. And then shortly after, not too long after that, then we got
Yeah.
616 in LA, which I was like kind of shocked by because of the back-to-back drop, but he did
Yeah.
kind of allude to back-to-back drops and
Euphoria.
in Euphoria. But that was also, I think he's gonna bring up the fact that Drake had help writing back to back to Meek, but he also dropped back to back at the same time.
Yeah,
I don't know if
so
that was a
very-
double
yeah.
entendre, but it was cool. I think it was a cool song. But it was like, okay, he could have kept it a little bit, but I think he was doing it in a way as bait,
Yeah.
like baiting Drake to drop. But he also
Yeah.
kind of squashed on Drake's release too, because Drake was supposedly supposed to drop on that day.
Yeah,
and
so
then he
it worked
didn't.
both ways. It's almost like I'm messing up your release, but I'm also putting more pressure on you. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, can not, you know, now it's like the clock's on. Like, we waiting. Like, I hit you twice now.
Yeah, I know some people were like, some people's critique of it was like, Kendrick keeps saying he's baiting. Have you ever? They said
Yeah.
he's acting like Jigsaw. So it was okay of a song, but I think its intended purpose worked, and still
Yeah.
hinting at certain
And
stuff.
The shock factor too.
Yeah, the back-to-back release.
When did that release? Because
That was Friday,
yeah, where were we when that happened?
which was yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, dang, it was yesterday. No, wait. Yeah, it was yesterday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, you was at work again, and you told me this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was
Crazy.
like, what?
Then Drake.
And then last night we got
Dropped
the
it.
response. Yeah,
We got the
and we
response.
knew it was coming. Cause like remember you like we was taking naps all day yesterday.
Yeah.
But I just remember you were like laying down. And I was like you was half asleep. I showed you the phone of academics tweeting like he's coming or it's happening.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, like and I was like we're probably gonna get this tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, what happened?
We got it.
We got it. Like
So
niggas was just trying to watch the. What were we trying to watch? We were trying to watch the Mavs. The Mavs Cavs, right? Is that what it's called?
Mavs Clippers.
Clippers. I'm mixing everybody up. Yeah, we was just trying to have a little nice night. First Friday in our new place, watch some games. Drake drop. We're like, oh shit, finally.
I'll go first because my opinion is going to be unbiased, and
Yeah.
you hate Drake and everything he stands for. So for me, I think that this was a necessary song for him to respond to in the way that he responded to it. So what he did do was what's important to get people on your side. So he gave some sort of like, I'm exposing you, which was the fact that Kendrick supposedly beats his wife, allegedly, and also that allegedly, supposedly, I got to say these words, one of his kids is actually his manager's kid.
Yeah.
Got his
Baby mama,
wife or baby
fiance, we don't know
whatever
what it is.
whatever his partner pregnant.
Yeah.
So he did for the intent of the battle, like
Yeah.
that's what people want to see. They want to
And
see
that's
some
what-
crazy expose.
Yeah, and that's the thing that people were saying that has to be next. Like we did the back and forth jabs. Next got to
Yeah.
be expose some shit. Like, cause they both were like, I feel like they both been like dangling it. Like we got something. Don't push me.
yo.
Don't push me. Don't push me. Before I expose you. So now
Yeah.
that had like after the 616 drop, that had to be the next step. We need something.
Yeah,
Tell us some shit we don't know.
yeah. So for
So
me,
that's what we got.
I thought that the song was a good response. Like it was the only possible response
Yeah.
for people to get off Drake's back about Euphoria, because he was getting. People were saying it was over already. He was smoked, cooked.
Yeah.
I thought he was finished, and he fought back a little bit with this one, and I thought it was necessary. He got the crazy expose potentially, and
You got to try to breaking down Kendrick too. With
Yeah,
the whole,
Kendrick.
Like, you're a black, such a pro-black man, but you got a mixed wife.
yeah,
And is she even your wife? Because you had been engaged in 2015, and like
he beats her. He went for the
Yeah.
whole "you're a bad husband" partner angle.
yeah. But my fear with that for Drake is like, you still messing with this man about his girl. Like you still
He did
bringing-
double
it's-
down.
Yeah, you still double down. You saying her name, and then you talking about shake that, shake that, like shake it for free, like. Like that's the thing. You're gonna keep bringing a man's woman. You gotta just be prepared for what's coming. That's
Yeah,
all I gotta
I'm-
say.
I'm-
Like he's still doubling down on that, tripling down.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a step back from the whole beef and just a little bit. I think in general, advice with people. I know Drake might be untouchable. I'm not. This is not just for him, but just in life in general. People gotta understand that people are gonna take that shit very seriously, and don't do that to the wrong person.
Yeah.
Because some people will really crash out over that.
Yeah.
And who knows? I'm not wishing
Yeah.
nothing on nobody, but there's certain lines we should or should not cross.
Yeah, and that's what me and you were talking about this off camera. But like to reiterate it on camera, like I don't think a lot of people like truly understand. Like, no offense, like we could break this down into many different parts, right? But first of all, like a lot of our age group and a lot of people who's like looking into this rap stuff, a lot of people I feel like haven't experienced real like relationships. I feel like that's safe to say, right? And if we go even further, like unfortunately, in the Black community, I don't think we really have gotten like we don't have that many like imagery of marriage and family, right? Like that's not really a thing in our community. Unfortunately, all you see is BD, BM, baby mama, baby daddy, coach. Like we're not really seeing a lot of stuff. So I feel like it's safe to say that a lot of people don't really understand what that's like. Like a lot of people haven't had that longevity of a relationship. Like me and you are college sweethearts, right? I just mentioned it. 9 years dating, but in a few months it'll be 10 years knowing each other, right? Like we met in 2014. So a lot of people don't have that longevity in relationships, like of a true ride or die too. If you think about a ride or die back from when before you had anything, right? Like I'm not here for your money or anything, right? Like because our relationship started when we both were broke college students, when nobody could offer each other anything but companionship and like a partner, right? Same with Drake. That's his ride or die. Like, that's his girl. I mean, not Drake, Kendrick. Like, that's his girl that he's been with literally before the fame. Like, she was there probably while he was in the studio, like, believing in him. So, it's like, a lot of people don't have that experience. They don't know what that's like having that person that's been there do it all. And, like, Drake, obviously, he doesn't understand it. Like, that nigga wants a family so bad, he can't get it. Like, he probably understands it the least. He don't know what that's like to have a real, genuine love for somebody and a longevity. Like, he hasn't had it himself. So, it's like we're saying, like, you got to try lightly. Like, when you bring up people's like love of their life, the mother of their children, like the person that's been there from day one, like this girl is there for you and genuinely loves you for you, and you gonna keep bringing her name up, like nah. And people don't understand that. Like a lot of these people online are like oh Drake's doing too. I mean not Drake. I keep saying Drake. Kendrick's doing too much. He's obsessed. He keeps dropping all these songs. Like it's getting too much now. But like you guys don't understand. Like maybe if you actually had a real genuine love, you would be like yeah. Like crash out territory, right? Like I feel that way, right? Like I've had people disrespect me in our relationship, right? But that was us not even a year in, or just maybe 2 years, 1 year in. But I can't imagine now, like being engaged to and being so in this relationship for so long. If somebody would try to disrespect our relationship or disrespect you, I can't tell you how I would react now, like being this deep into this relationship. So, like you said, people gotta tread lightly with that stuff, especially other men, like. People crash out. I think a lot of stuff, violence that happens between men, a lot of it has to do with women. And Drake keeps doing this continually to men. So I don't know why he keeps thinking this is funny.
Aside from the potential, him potentially getting murdered,
yeah,
just it's going to ignite people to do bad shit, right? Because
like
this is what triggered Pusha T to drop the story, add it on in the first place.
Wasn't the same thing with Pusha T? Isn't
Virginia Williams
like a day one girl for him too? Like. You're not talking about like these are not just niggas that are dating Instagram models that got a porn star pregnant. Like this is the love of their lives, like from like before the fame. Like that's someone who's real like that. That would be like coming for Chubbs, I guess, right? If he was coming for Chubbs. So like maybe Drake needs to tap in, like pretend it's Chubbs that they're talking about. Maybe he'll get. maybe he would understand more, like what that's like. Like stop coming for these. Stop talking about these men's girls. They're day ones. They're high school, college sweethearts. Like stop.
Let's see if Chubbs really crashed some.
That nigga not doing shit. We see him in the club last year. He looked like a wimp in person. I don't know. I was looking at him I'm like this dweeb. We were right there. We were just close to him.
Nah, you gonna lose your Toronto pass. She said that, not me.
That born ass city. We went up there. I was like. This is it. What's there to do here? That club that we went to, mid. I'm like, these niggas don't know how to even get down here. Like,
damn, don't take your. I'm let her speak for like I fuck with Toronto. Anyway,
Toronto's cool, but it's not in New York. Like we're like.
No, you're done. You're done. Anyway, back to the diss tracks. So yeah, it was a good response. Necessary, all the jabs and stuff. I think it was perfect response to get Kendrick off of him because the way the comments were working, and I'm not saying that it was a better song by any stretch of imagination. Euphoria is still way better, but I think that it was the only way that Drake could respond to Euphoria. So it was good. I think he did a good job fighting back. Yeah. I think that the video was corny to do, to be honest with you, because we're in a rap beef and he's still kind of trying to do like the Like the beginning, it's like drop
Yeah.
for 50 in his spot.
And that was like what do you call it? Like a chorus, a hook. Like he had to
Yeah.
repeat. Like why be having hooks and choruses in a fucking rap battle? Like what are we doing?
Yeah, so I thought that part was corny about the song, was trying to get the rap hit type thing, like trying to
just
get
a
it played in.
hit
He's trying to do the back to back effect.
Yeah,
Where
and he's just a
back-to-back
hit maker. That's all he knows. Like he don't know how to really get down. Like
And Crushing the Van, I thought was cool as a visual, but like the video, like putting out a video for a rap diss is like
imagine it was just the van being like partially crushed. That's just the cover art. That would have hit so much more than having the van on the. I mean, it was kind of cool having the van on the road and you look up and you see the was in the needle shit. I don't know,
Yeah.
the CNN tower. Like okay,
the visuals were great, but using them in a rap beef was trash. You should have done it like
yeah.
for some other time. But anyway, so yeah, perfect response, I think. And then it got bad.
Then 10 minutes later, we literally were sitting in bed. We were trying to decipher this Family Matters thing. We're like, okay, like whoa, like okay, here's the bars we like, here's the bars I think are stupid, like. And then literally, I was like, I think we were finally like, okay, like that was crazy. Let's just watch the Timberwolves highlights. We weren't even 2 minutes into like we were talking about Anthony. What's his name?
Anthony Edwards.
We
About to smoke the Nuggets.
Yeah, we was having a whole conversation, and I was like, I was looking at my tweet, and I was talking about like, oh, I can't wait to see what Kendrick responds. And somebody was like, Kendrick replied, and I was like, wait, what? I'm like, nah, you lying. And I looked up on Twitter, and then I was like, I saw the Twitter link, and I was like,
yeah, I kept saying like to
like
people, I was like, it's gonna get bad for Drake because I feel like the way Kendrick set this up initially was that that definitely caught J. Cole and Drake completely off guard, especially because Drake supposedly said that, or Drake supposedly asked Kendrick to get on that song on First Person Shooter. So when Kendrick dropped like that, I think it just caught them completely off guard, and there's basically no way for Drake to have won this no matter what. Like this was like,
because if he would have stayed quiet, people would have called him out. Like you're not gonna say nothing. Like Kendrick talking about you. Because now at this point, at this point, you say you the GOAT. You say you the big three. Like then battle. Show me how you the big three. He forced his hand. He had no reason. Like he had no way to get out of it.
Really. Yeah, and I was saying this weeks ago. I'm like, this isn't gonna get so bad because I just feel like I think that Drake thought that Kendrick, and this is even what academics were saying, that they didn't know that Kendrick was gonna do this, that he was gonna be afraid of the lights and afraid to perform.
Cause Kendrick, we never seen Kendrick in a battle like this.
Yeah, and he sure as hell stepped up to the plate with Meet the Grams. That was
the thing is, I had no like doubt that he would be able to battle. Like I don't know why people thought that just because he hasn't done it. Like I'm like, what? Did we not realize who Kendrick is? Like have we not heard him speak? Like even like his bars where he was coming for people before. Like he's came at people before. So like I don't know why people didn't think that he could be a battle rapper. Like he literally got all the criteria.
As one of the skeptics, because I was skeptical, and Kendrick is my favorite rapper. I don't consider Kanye to be a rapper, but Kendrick is literally my favorite rapper.
Yeah. Kanye's my favorite artist.
Kendrick's like 1A. Well, Kendrick, Jay-Z interchangeable, 1A, 1B. Mm-hmm. I was skeptical not because of his ability to battle. Like he's a writer. Like he writes for real. So it wasn't necessarily that I was skeptical about his ability to write and battle, but it was just whether he was going to do it or not.
Yeah, because that's true. Because like you said, he's not really like in the spotlight. He doesn't really. He's not on social media, so it's like, is he really going to go head to head? Like he doesn't barely drop music, but he kind of does barely drop music. Like we hear an album from him every few years, and then we get maybe a single, like the stuff they did with Family Ties. Yeah. But we don't really get a lot of music from him like that. Really, like as much as we do from Drake. But look, we got like 7 songs from him.
Yeah.
Well, so we got four songs. 5 songs.
Let's get into Meet the Grams. Now, after this came out, after Euphoria, this is hands down the best diss track of all time, and I don't think it's close. I know we want to have some sort of nostalgic tie to Tupac and Biggie and Jay-Z and Nas. We're going to have to let that go at some point. Like, the game is always going to elevate. Like, that's how it's supposed to work. Like, back in Wilt Chamberlain era, all that stuff was great.
I was about to say, it's the same way people are so like pressed to it, like Michael Jordan, and like it's like
the nostalgia of it all.
So they don't want to admit that LeBron is probably better than Michael Jordan. Like,
but no, we're gonna say this right now. That was the best diss track of all time. The angle talking to the family, specifically calling all of them out by name. The concept of Meet the Grams when it was supposed to be a play off the Family Matters TV show sort of thing, which just dropped 30 minutes, 20 minutes earlier. Yeah. So that counteracting, talking to Adonis saying, he basically told him he wished he was never born. Like it was just the angles
Focus to the mom.
and the entendres and your son is sick, pedophile. Like
Yeah, because that's the thing. This is when our introduction now to Kendrick finally bringing up the pedophile stuff. Like I know he kind of like insinuated it with the you making music to pacify them. But you know, I'll get back to that. Like, but this is a random act of kindness. I'm not going to get it on to you today. But now we're finally seeing him
really get into
the pedophile thing, which people were waiting for that angle because we were like, come on, like that's the one thing people hadn't really called Drake out on, like the weird shit with the younger kids and the minors, like.
Yeah.
So we finally got that introduction. That's why when I heard that, I was like, yes, finally.
You praying on his downfall?
I am. I've been praying on this since 2015. Like I'm telling you, you guys can see I got receipts. Since the Meek era, I was like, something's off about this man. He's a culture vulture. He's doing music with Quavo, Travis, Future. I was like, something ain't right. This is not the Drake I like. Like I like the nigga that make the melodies. I don't like when he acts up. Like that's how I felt like back in 2015, 2016, and nobody else was seeing it. Everybody was like, "Oh, you being a hater." I'm like, no, you guys not seeing it. Like I've been peeped this. That's why I'm like, finally, everybody's seen the light. Like you guys have finally seen the light. I've been on my own for like 10 years, like on this hate train. Like yeah, praying for his downfall. Cause I like the old Drake. I like everything prior to if you read this is too late and above. I don't like anything after that. I don't like. I mean, he does definitely have some good songs after that though. Like Jaded is good. He has some good songs after that. Like the Bridal Path song.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Meet the Grams was unprecedented. I couldn't even believe what I was hearing.
Yeah, we were just
had
there,
to
like,
sit back. We were silent. We didn't know what was happening. Like I thought it was fake because it was just an immediate drop right after. I'm like, this can't be real.
We literally like were like, this is crazy that we're experiencing this in real time. Like this is the historical stuff we're gonna look back on, and we're sitting here like experiencing it. And I just couldn't believe what I was like hearing
and what he was saying. I'm like, bro, like this is what I was talking about. It's not the I got your girl and blah blah. Like all that stuff doesn't matter. Well, like I know it's the ego damage thing. Like it's like, oh okay, all right. But this is literally breaking this person down as an individual and talking to the family. Then talk to him specifically too. Like it was bad. Yeah. Like I kept saying for days. If you remember, I kept saying it's gonna get really bad. But I couldn't have foreseen it getting this bad. Yeah. Because I don't even
quickly too.
This quick because it escalated from you wear size 7 feet to the entire OVO campus pedophiles, and we'll get into the next song. But it got elevated so quickly, and just because he mentioned Whitney. Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's the trigger for a lot of people. And like Drake, he doesn't. He thinks it's funny, but look, like. Pusha T showed you already. You didn't think he was like another nigga was gonna show you behind his girl. Like
it's also been 2,000 days since he responded to Pusha T. But anyway,
Pusha T.
Pusha T.
Oh wait, then we also had the exposing of another child and possible other children.
Yeah,
like that was a great angle. Like he spoke to the daughter, the alleged daughter.
Right.
So.
And supposedly. It might have been they keep saying there's a fake mole in OVO that fed Kendrick bad information. But one angle that was interesting that I wanted to share with everybody is that people were saying that it could potentially be Kendrick talking about a girl that was going to be 11 years old, but Drake had her aborted.
Yeah.
So
that would be a crazy angle.
Because the last line he says is Drake should never say more life.
Yeah.
Because he killed her in an abortion, allegedly. Now, which is
like you were hiding a child again, like
which is an even crazier angle.
Yeah,
that more life line was nuts. Because I don't know what else he means by that.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. So it could have been a hypothetical talking to a younger kid, and he kept saying all the other kids you probably got out there too. Now, for me, like I said,
I wouldn't be shocked. Like, come on, it's Drake.
Yeah.
Like the niggas a thought. Like I would not be shocked if he got other kids.
I'm not one of those people that like sticks to the scathing hot tea that everybody likes.
Yeah.
Like. I like talk to this person's soul about who they are. So the kid thing is irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
Let's address all the other stuff, right? Yeah. And of course, that's the one thing he responded to is I don't have a kid.
Yeah, but he didn't respond nothing about the pedophiles. He didn't respond to none of that.
Slavery.
Keep the kids away. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the other thing about the Drake thing was the slavery line.
Yeah. The slavery line. Oh my god, a lot of people didn't really catch that, but I caught it in real time, and I was like mad about it. I was like, are we gonna talk about it? And not everybody's talking about it. And then, we'll to get into the next diss track, but like Kendrick even addressed it. Like, as Black Americans, that shit pissed me off because like you profiting off of the culture, you are cosplaying the culture, you're imitating the culture, you're benefiting from the culture, and then you're gonna try to talk shit about slavery, like and make it seem like it's a bar, like it's a diss. Like, not saying he's dissing slavery, right? But to use that in a diss,
Yeah, trying
Like,
to.
come on. If you was really a nigga, you wouldn't be bringing that shit up. Like, that's why we said don't say that shit no more. Cause like, look what you doing.
Yeah, he was trying to bring up the fact that Kendrick is a fake activist,
Yeah.
but like to me, if you are saying that you're from the culture, because that was the first line of the song was supposed to be that he can say it and all that
Yeah.
other stuff. And it has nothing to do with the word necessarily, but to attack one of the people that's actually trying to do positive things with their music. The
and
whole
bring light to stuff like issues
Right.
in our community. Like,
he was saying Mr. Morale was a flop, but I'm like, look at the topics that he was talking
Yeah.
about, right? Like what? Yeah, obviously that's not going to
Arguments,
necessarily sell a million records first week, but
Yeah.
you can't look at somebody that's trying to benefit the community when all you do is make music about doing drugs and having sex with 19-year-olds.
like degeneracy.
Yeah,
Like,
and then the one person that's trying to empower and
Yeah.
the community, then you're making fun of them, and
Yeah.
you're not even from here. You got no
yeah,
heritage
like
here.
you're from Canada. Like you grew up in Canada. You grew up in a Jewish neighborhood. You went to Jewish schools. You had a freaking bar mitzvah. Like you're not one of us, and that's why. What did Kendrick say? The new song is it called?
Yeah,
Not,
it's called Not For Us.
Not for us. Like or not.
No, not like yeah.
Not like us. Not like us. Cause you're not like us. Cause if you were, you wouldn't even use slavery. Like why are you trying to make jokes about that? Like you're trying to throw jabs about, like you said, being an activist. Like that's a part of our culture. Like Black American culture, unfortunately, comes with that. Like that's a whole part of our identity. Our identity started off with slavery, and I started off with segregation. So that activism that he's trying to clown, that's a part of us. That's a part of who we are. And you wouldn't get it if you weren't born and raised and bred in this culture. But you wouldn't benefit off of it. So
Yeah.
like I did not like that line at all. I was like, ew, this nigga is proving the point. Like,
Yeah, he's proving the point. I'm not one of those people that's gonna like listen to, because some people listen to rappers. Oh, I'm not wearing a Miri no more, so now nobody's gonna wear a Miri because
Yeah.
somebody said it. I'm not gonna listen to Kendrick or Drake and have my opinion swayed on what I'm gonna listen to or not listen to anymore.
Yeah.
But I think that after a certain point, it's gonna get like that's such a turn off to me
Yeah,
to like
like-
listen. It's like wait, hold up, time out.
Like, I can't listen to your stuff no more, and that's how you feel.
Like, not that I'm gonna go delete the whole catalog, but it's like.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything in the future I really want to listen to because
Yeah.
it's like you got to look at it a little weird because
Yeah.
people are questioning your involvement in the culture anyway, and your
Yeah.
response is to take one of the people that's trying to better the community and then through their
And
music.
say that he's trying to make music to free the slaves. Like what?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Like that's a bad thing. Like,
yeah, like whoa.
and that's why it's crazy. All his fans are like we talked about this off camera, but I feel like a lot of his fans who really die hard defend him, they relate to him. They're either maybe Black people who are immigrants, kids of immigrants who aren't Black Americans. So they kind of feel like, I know that deep down they be thinking they're part of this shit, but they know they're not really a part of it. So I know they be having that identity crisis a bit. And then you have like the non-Black fans, like the people who aren't Black at all, right? Hispanic or white, right? Or Asian or any other thing. So I feel like all like Drake brought a lot of like non-Black people, non-Black Americans even into this culture that he's not even a part of. So it's like they all, I feel like, identify with him because they know they're all outsiders to the culture. So they want it, and they feel cool to be involved in it, and they know deep down they're not involved, they're not really in it. Like, and all of us who are in the culture look at you guys like outsiders because you're not really in it. But like they see themselves in him, and then like it's like at the end of the day, like you're just a corny outsider. Like at the end, like cool, yeah, you make. Like cool, Drake, you make good music. I'm not gonna say you make bad music. You make good music. It's good music, but you're not like. At the end of the day, you're not really the culture. Like you're just a part of the culture. You're a guest in the culture, and you want to be down. You want that acceptance. Like, and it's eating him up that he doesn't get that acceptance from like Kendrick, because he feels he got it from Jay-Z. He feels he got it from like a lot of other greats, but he feels like he really wants that acceptance, and he knows he'll never get it because at the end of the day, you're not us. Like even Nicki, I'm a Nicki fan, right? But at the end of the day, like, yeah, you were born and raised here in America. You were born and raised in the culture, but at the end of the day, you're not the culture. Like, your mom has a heavy accent at home. Like, you wasn't raised, like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, 'cause we were raised in, so we understand the going to the family reunions, going to the deep South to see, like, where our people were from, going, like, feeling that when you're down there, like, that heaviness, like that's the real American rooted, like Black American culture, like, and like it's just I just can't explain it. And like I feel like if you're not in the culture, like you're just not in it. Like I don't care if you went to school with us. Like people love to say that, oh, I assimilated. No, like what you eat in the household? What were you eating? What was your parents talking? Like what language were you speaking? What what were you passing down? What were your parents passing down to you? It's not the same. Just because you went to school with us doesn't mean you're one of us. And like I just feel so passionate about that. And like I just feel like if you're not that, like you're not that. Like Drake's dad is Black American, but Drake, that's your your DNA, that's your lineage. We can't take that away from you, but that's not your culture.
Yeah,
raised.
You can't.
It's just like
you can't be raised in a completely separate country and look across through social media or basically looking from across the border at what everybody else is doing and
copying it.
That's all you're doing is copying it. So you, even though yes, he does have half DNA of someone that's Black
and his
American.
lineage is still probably linked. Is still linked to slavery in America. Yes, but that, just because you have the DNA doesn't mean you have the culture.
Yeah,
you have to. You literally have to be born and raised, and it has to be your upbringing. And someone on Twitter was like, "Oh, like you're trying to dismiss him because he learned it late." I'm like, you can't learn it. Like,
you can't learn a culture. You just have it. Yeah, it's
you
a thing.
Live it. Like,
it's a thing. Yeah, and not only that, he was raised. Look who raised him. It wasn't a Black woman.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Even if it was a Black woman,
man that raised him.
It was literally a white woman in Canada, in a Jewish neighborhood. Like,
it's like the anti-culture to Blacks.
Literally, the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And the only thing that he had was that he saw his dad, who was from Memphis, and he felt like, oh, he's so cool, and like that's my Blackness, and like, you know, he was learning it from his dad, but you wasn't in it. You weren't born in it. You wasn't raised in it. You weren't living it. Yeah. You weren't experiencing it. That's what culture is. Like,
yeah, but
like I said, I always emphasize I love like my Black people everywhere, right? But we need to make it clear, like, it's okay. We're different cultures. Love your culture, love mine, and we all like. I don't have an issue with sharing it and stuff, but at the end of the day, you know if it's your shit or not. And like, and there's a different, like, there's a disconnect. Like just because you went to school and you lived in this country and you listen to the music and you dress like us doesn't mean you're us. Like, that shit comes from the household. Like, what was your family life like? Like, and this Black American stuff is just you know you can't get it from TV shows. You can't get it from the music. Like, you have to live it. And there's no way to explain it. Like, you can't. You
explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like you wouldn't be. It would be the equivalent of if you look at any other culture. Like, it's just because and this is not to, I guess, marginalize Japanese culture to what I'm about to say, but for the purpose of personification, it would be the equivalent of me wearing, just, I don't know, like some of the Japanese fashion or
kimonos,
sandals,
right?
Kimonos, and you know, having their flag or saying I watch anime, so that means I'm cultured.
Yeah.
I'm into Japanese culture. I read manga.
Even learning
the
Japanese,
language, like none of that would ever make you a part of it. All you did was just imitate it. You wouldn't grow up in it.
Yeah. Like you didn't there was nothing passed down to you. There was no culture passed down to you. You learned it. And if you had to learn a culture outside of your home, you're not in it. It's not yours.
Yeah. But anyway, let's keep it to the diss tracks. Well, of course, we have to break it down. But
cause the reason I had to get it up too, because we'll get into it. But Kendrick definitely doubled down on how we feel too. Like, I think a lot of Black Americans are really expressing themselves lately about this stuff. Cause we're finally kind of like getting it together. Like, damn, wait, we are our own people. You know, I feel like this identity that we're finally like realizing. Like, wait, let's stop trying to tie ourselves to being, we're from Africa and like, please, we're from Nigeria. Like, I think we're finally like, nah, we're here. We're from here. We've been here for centuries, and like, I think we're just finally seeing this coming togetherness of us realizing and us gatekeeping, and we're calling this shit out, like, finally. Cause he said that in his song, like, he said they come to America and imitate heritage, like, I'm like, yes, we're finally calling this shit out, like, and for anybody who it applies to, like, listen up, like, if you had to imitate anything, he was talking about you, not just Drake, not just the Canadians, like, you know what I mean? So I'm just, I'm here for it, because I'm like loving seeing this happening, like, because obviously I've been kind of into it for the past 2 years, so just get passionate about it. I'm sorry.
So to keep back on the diss track, so Meet the Grams, he broke all that shit down about Drake, and it's literally the best diss track I've ever heard. Yeah. I think everybody was talking about how menacing the beat was, the way his voice sounded, that shit at the end. He lied.
Yeah.
I thought my ancestors was flying around the room. I was looking around. I've been paranoid ever since, looking over my shoulder. Yeah, that piano
beat,
Alchemist.
People were comparing it to Insidious, like the and the beat,
the creepy,
like the sound from the movie, like
that beautiful song. That writing was just nasty face, but then.
Yeah, what happened next, right? It got kind of quiet. Like, of course, Drake responded to the
kid thing.
That's it, but then said nothing else.
He didn't say nothing about the pedophilia.
Yeah,
that's fine. He's like, you know what, I like young girls, but no, I don't have another kid. So
Yeah.
he didn't address any of that. He didn't address any of the culture vulture part. He didn't
Yeah.
address anything except for, and that's the other thing where I'm not going to necessarily like about Drake's response most likely is because I think what he did well on his recent response, I forget what the
Family
name was,
Matters.
Family Matters. What I like about it was that he did address specific stuff with Rick Ross and ASAP Rocky,
Yeah.
where he directly responded to stuff. I don't think that he's gonna respond to anything directly that Kendrick said, and I don't think that there's a way to do it. Because
my whole thing is though, like if you're gonna like, obviously Kendrick's trying to have this 1v1 battle, so have a diss track just for Kendrick. So he should have dropped twice. He should have dropped that. Family Matters, fine. Do that for everybody who came for you. But then we want just you and Kendrick. Say that nigga's name. Because he has not said Kendrick's name once. He said Kenny. He says K. Dot. Say Kendrick. Okay, everybody's saying Drake. No, say Kendrick. Like you. I don't know if he's trying to be funny. Like I'm not gonna give him the privilege of like saying his name. No, say his name. But I mean, cool. Yeah, I respect the Rick Ross, the Future, the shout out, the ASAP Rocky. But we want. Like, you don't see Kendrick doing that. Kendrick's coming just for Drake.
I want him to just specifically respond to. I want each person to specifically respond to what was brought up by the other person. Because now we have the established diss track. So now it's a call and response every single time you respond. I don't want to hear Kendrick call you a pedophile and then you respond and say Kendrick beats his wife. No, Kendrick called you a pedophile, answer that, and then also say he beats his wife.
And Kendrick
says,
too.
I
You need to
don't
respond too.
I don't beat my wife, and here's something else about you. That's how it should go. It shouldn't be that Drake, you're a pedophile, and then Drake says, drop and give me 50. Like, I don't want to hear that's not the response. Like, address these things and don't and stop posting on Instagram. Stop posting memes and responding. You're in the middle of a rap beef and you're putting laughing emojis. Like, nah. Like, respond to it. You know, in a song, or don't respond to it at all. Like,
and I'm not gonna be biased too. Like Kendrick too. Like,
address it.
Domestic violence is a major allegation.
But he did though. But I don't know. How do you feel about that? Because he's already talked about this.
He has publicly. In the past, but I feel like now
he has to read.
Yeah, you got to read, because a lot of the people who weren't there, like you said, that interview was like 10 years ago, right? A lot of these kids who are into the rap beef now were 7. They were under the age of 10 when that interview dropped. So like you gotta address it. Like we're in an active battle. Like you gotta say something. And who knows? He probably might say something. Like you know, we're still in the midst of this.
Right. And
something could have dropped right now while you're talking.
Yeah, literally. Like, and he still has other stuff that he said he was going to get back to, so I think it's just going to continue. So I just hope both of them actually reply to each other, not just continue to try to find different information to throw at each other. Because
that's, I'm not gonna lie, like I like Kendrick, but if you really have some shit with his girl, like I don't know, I'm definitely gonna look at him different, because I don't play that.
Yeah, you already know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we got Not Like Us earlier today.
Yeah.
While we were driving around.
Yeah, that's not. It's funny. Every time we get these things, like we happen to be not busy. Like we just happen to be on our phone every time these songs dropping. So yeah, we were literally at his grandma's house like for hours, right, and just chatting it up, having a real Black American conversation, talking about she's 93, you know, crazy long life, telling me about her Alabama upbringing, living in Mobile, and you know how much it was so mixed down there and the Irish. And so you know I was getting my history lesson, you know, from his grandma. Very wholesome day, Black American history. And then I got my soul food, real Black American day, and then we find out while we're on the way to pick up my soul food.
Then this came on.
Then we got this song. I was like, no way. I'm like, you're lying. We got another song.
OVO. OVO. Yeah.
Now this one caught us off guard.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I really thought, okay, he hit him with the back-to-back. He hit him with the immediate response. Mm-hmm. But then I didn't think he's going to be on his neck like this. But I kind of did, though, because we've been seeing tweets. Remember, I kept telling him, like, okay, this tweet, this saying it's a warning, watch out, like, it's not over. And I was like, but I didn't think that meant he was going to drop again. I thought he's waiting for Drake's next response. Like, nah, he's on his neck. I'm like, we might get a diss a day.
Yeah, we might get a diss a day.
To Father's Day, like you said. Like, this all might lead to 6/16 Father's Day.
He really hates him. And it's really motivated me to hate better. Like, I feel like I've hated some people, but now I feel like I gotta hate better.
Nah, like I really wish like the beefs I had in my life, we could spin that back. Like I would do it way better this time. I would put all my effort into
There's so much
shitting on
hate
you and hating on you.
that it's just phenomenal. I've never seen anyone hate someone so much.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna keep going. And yeah, this one was, I think he's being so ironic and playful with it that it's like, I think all of the tactics that Drake uses, Kendrick is doing it, but because Kendrick is a better rapper,
yeah,
it's working better.
It's hitting better, yeah.
Like his timing on dropping the diss tracks, the things he's actually saying, the being ironic, and he's gonna give you Meet the Grams, which is a 7-minute song of just Alchemist
on a slow beat,
Alchemist beat on a horror soundtrack.
Yeah. Like the conscious shit that people keep talking about that he does, like
then turn around and make the club record.
Everybody's saying, oh, Drake's winning because he got the people going to listen to it. Nobody's listening to that. No one's listening to it like more than once.
Yeah.
So like, all right, I'll give you the OVO. I'll give you the back-to-back type of records.
Yeah, now
I'll give you the club records.
We're doing Electric Slide to Not Like Us for the rest of eternity. Speaking of eternity.
Oh.
Anyway.
That's the alleged kid.
Yeah. But Not Like Us, yeah.
Not Like Us is definitely up there. Like Euphoria is still my fave, but I think this is my second fave.
Yeah,
no, this
Euphoria,
is for sure my second fave.
Euphoria lyrically, but yeah, the way Not Like Us just has the crazy bop to it. But then
fun.
He's saying Baca's a pedophile, OVO.
Wait, but let's start with the cover art.
The cover art, yeah. For people that didn't get it, it's Drake's. They call it the embassy, is what he calls it. It's Drake's house in Toronto, the huge mansion.
We drove by his house.
We did go by his house.
Last July. And I was about to say, let's play Story Adidon when we was out there. I wanted to play it so
super
bad.
corny. I was so mad you made us drive over there.
We had to go to Bridal Path.
No, we definitely did not have to. And now it's even nastier considering what probably was going on there while we were there.
Like it kind of creeps me out. We drove past it like.
Yeah, that was super fanned out behavior. But anyway,
it was a little bit.
Yeah, it has all of the pin drops on the map locations of pedophiles for anybody that doesn't know, and anybody that's registered as a sex offender for whatever sexual offense. Yeah, they have to register and identify specifically where they live so people can look it up, and it's all public information.
And there's like apps, like Citizens app, for example, that shows it's the same way that I looked on the album cover. It's like pins of people with like just a little like silhouette of a human, right? Like the little profile picture thing. So that was funny. That being the cover art is hilarious.
So I forget how many pins he had in there, but basically he's saying there's going to be a raid on OVO camp because he said Baca got a case that's weird. Why is he a part of OVO? Party next door smoking. Hopefully he's not smoking it either, but sniffing cocaine.
Yeah, we about to see Party Next Door in August, so please don't be cooked out on our show.
He said Chubbs is getting all of Drake's teenage leftovers.
You know what? That I feel like we gotta get into that too. Like we always talk about like just kind of like the borderline, like
Not right now. We'll talk about that later.
Well, I'm saying like no offense to the gays because we're not coming for the gays, but there is like we'll talk about it later. But there is always some borderline like weirdness. I feel like with close guy like friendships and stuff. I don't know. It's something kind of weird there. I heard too. They said Chubbs is like, and I think Drake mentioned it. Like he's like the man that goes out in the club and like scouts
finds the girls. Yeah.
Oh, I know his type. Like that's what Drake said. Like, oh, he knows my type. Like that's so.
He my doggy. He know what I like.
That's so like. No offense. I'm not talking. I love my gay people.
He knows what I like.
That's very like borderline gay. Like
you.
Like why? Like it's just it's just weird. Something's weird there, and I just. Yeah,
it's called being homoerotic.
Yeah, that's the word. That's the perfect. That's the word right there.
But we'll can talk about that another time. But long story short, and this took definitely way longer than I thought. But basically, the whole overall breakdown of the diss tracks is that Drake is getting smoked, and for the overall beef, anything that gets brought up, I'm not substantiating anybody's claims unless we have proof. Mm-hmm. So both of them can do this whole shock value. You got a kid, you beat your wife, you're a pedophile, you don't own your masters, whatever kind of weird disses that people are doing back and forth. I'm not substantiating anything unless there's some sort of evidence. Yeah. Kendrick did have a situation in 2014 where that was alleged, but that was determined to be a lie, from my understanding. Drake with the pedophile stuff, obviously we don't know that to be for sure, although we have some hard evidence of him finding out that girl was 17 on stage and still continuing after that. Yeah, like after that, still describing her body. So there's for something like that, I'm gonna put more credence on it versus just oh, I heard one of your kids might not be yours.
And if he's making, Kendrick is making like alleged facts that like there's a raid coming. So if the raid comes, and I mean, and what's his name? Cat Williams just say 2024 is exposing the truth. He's like, the Diddy's out there, like, he's always kind of alluding that maybe people know, maybe there's some rumblings and people know, and maybe that's why people are now separating themselves from him now. You ever think about that?
Yeah.
Because why it seems like everybody's coming. It's like
a coordinated thing. Something might have came out.
Yeah, everybody's making it known, like, oh, I don't line with this man. And that's why I think Kendrick's like LeBron, like anybody who's move away because the raid's coming. Like I feel like something, when people talk, something is rumbling. There's probably some open case. There's probably some investigation. Man,
I don't know. It could get.
It might get crazy.
Treacherous. This might be one of the biggest scandals of all time.
Still no proof yet. Like you said, we still need the facts. I like receipts. I don't like he say, she say. I don't like.
Yeah. So all that shock and awe, blah blah blah. Like I don't care about that. That's why we weren't even delving so much into the kid part. Yeah. Even though they supposedly found the kid's Instagram and some things are pointing to it being true. I don't care about all that. I want to see some specific things, right? Like with the Adidon, it's like Drake has a kid.
And he said the kid's name. Like he had Adonis, he had this Adidon, like the
Adidas deal, mm-hmm. like the baby mama's name,
Sophie,
like all that, all that stuff. He had all that information, and while we didn't necessarily know it at the time, it was substantiated because it ended up being true.
And then it was funny too. I actually didn't even remember this, but they were saying like in the midst of all this, Drake was denying the kid like right after Pusha T's thing. So him denying doesn't mean nothing. This nigga is like he's a master manipulator. He's a liar. Yeah. He's a liar. Like we all know a person like Drake who just lies for no reason.
You good? Because before I'm gonna say it, but your veins are popping out your head. Like you good? You straight?
No, a lot of stuff. Like I said, I want to spin the block on beefs because I hate a weird ass freaking weirdo who just lies unprovoked, like just making up shit. Like go to fucking put you in a fucking in that what do they call it? The room with the pad. Put you in a padded room, you fucking weirdo. Sorry, I just get this beef. This beef just makes me feel very like. Cause we were talking about it earlier. Like this, when you're in this beef, like I just know that stomach churning, heart rate. Like I just know that feeling of being in beef, and I kind of missed it. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, we're gonna stay positive on this podcast.
I'm joking. No, but I'm just saying I like we talked about this before too. Like Drake makes good music, but when you take away the music and reveal the human. He's still a human being, and human beings are weird. Like we all know a weird person who just lies and manipulates. And Drake can make great music and still be a weirdo. He could still be a liar. He could still be a manipulator. And I think that's what a lot of these, that's what Kendrick really trying to get off. Like this nigga is a weirdo. He's a manipulator, a master manipulator. He's a weirdo. He lies, and we all know at least one person in our lives, or know currently or known before that's like that. So it's like him saying that the kid thing is a lie. That has no credence for me because. He could be lying, so.
Anyway,
but like to your point, show the Carfax. Like I'm not believing nothing until we get concrete proof. Like I need even Kendrick we need hard hitting facts. Like post something. Like the cover art is pictures of his allegedly his house and his belongings. So we need stuff like that. Keep dropping stuff like that. Like I need some hard concrete proof. And he could still be baiting us right now. I feel like Kendrick still doesn't want to, like, if he has something really crazy, he still doesn't want to let that, like, push that red button yet because he's still waiting to see what Drake's going to do. Like, it's almost like he's giving him a chance to, like, back down.
Yeah.
But I also feel like Kendrick wants smoke. Like, he wants to release everything. Yeah. I feel that. This hate that festering for a decade.
Yeah, and for me, I think because it's the same thing, like the DMX interview. Like where he's like, why don't you like Drake? And it's just like you could just see like everything about his being just disgusted DMX. And I think that Kendrick has felt this way over the years, but now that combined with the fact that he's bringing up your wife and potentially lying, like we don't know what's a lie and what's not at this point. But I think that those two things put together will make somebody really crash and just do some crazy shit. Because I can imagine if I hated somebody just as a human being, and then now they're also coming into my world trying to disrespect me, how I would go ballistic. I think that's just what we're watching right now. Now I don't think it's gonna stop. And my whole thing is Drake deserves it. Like you could call Kendrick obsessed, like he's doing too much, he's dropping too much. I think Drake deserves it. Like this man had gotten away with bullying people who aren't even
his match, right? Like you come for Meek, like you go in on Meek, you try to go in on Kanye. You haven't really battled somebody who's your equal. So I think he deserves everything and all the sneak this that he's been doing to so many people and all the trying to come for different men's girls. Like this is what deserved. This is long overdue. Deserved. Like he thinks he's untouchable. Like no.
Yeah, I don't see a way out of this for him, honestly, because even I think what it comes back down to is all of the things that Kendrick said. Even if the kid thing isn't true, it's still him breaking him down as his character flaws, like the gambling, the women, like all these other different things. These things are not fake. Like these are all things that are actually true. And I think that part of it, there's no way to respond to it.
Yeah.
Because we watch you on stream gambling all day long.
Yeah.
And blowing money that way, like you can't fight that because it's a fact.
Yeah.
Like this is an actual proof thing. Like you do this.
Yeah.
You talk about doing perks and drugs and all this other stuff on your songs.
Yeah.
Popping X and all this other stuff. So these are all things that that are like confirmed. So there's no way to fight those things.
You know, the sex addiction, like just being like down bad. Like I feel like that's obvious. I feel like if somebody who's already kind of like has issues and is into drugs, like the sex part, it's just for me, it's like a byproduct of success a lot of times for these men because it's like you could get any girl you want. Like that has to get to a point where you're just numb to it and you're just sick. Like you just become sick. And just addicted and just do some weird shit. So
yeah, I don't see a way out of this for him. And
yeah, because like, what's next? Like, what do you say?
What do you say to the pedophile? Because that's my thing, and I'm interested because you'd be surprised what a trapped animal will do for their survival, right? Yeah. A rat will chew their leg off when they're caught in a mousetrap, and maybe they escape, maybe they don't. Not to call him a rat, but for
this could get so
for the comparison. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. I'd like to see how creative he gets to fight his way out of this one, but that pedophile stuff, especially with the things that we know for a fact to be true, I don't know if there's a way out of it.
And people are digging up everything, like the Sierra Canyon bar that you brought up earlier. Or not people thought it came to Twitter, him saying Sierra Canyon parking lot looking like Magic City, like, and everybody's like, oh, he's talking about the moms of the kids, but it's like, but why bring the kid thing even into it? Like, you could have talked about any other place. You could have said anything, like
literally anything, like, except the high school.
Any other place, like why do you want to bring up the high school parents? Like why are we even bringing kids into a conversation like in the same sentence as Magic City? Like it's still weird. Like I don't care. There's no way to spin it. His fans be grasping for straws. Like it's so weird. Cause my whole thing is like cause people in my mentions keep trying to talk to me about like call me a hypocrite because of how I defend Kanye, right? But I'm defending Kanye on like stuff like his word choice. I'm not defending Kanye on pedophilia. Like, let's be real. If Kanye was doing some shit like that, I wouldn't be grasping for straws. I'll be like, yeah, he's weird. But like, I'd be defending Kanye on just his inability to say the shit the correct way. Like, we get what he meant by slavery was a choice. We see it every day in the black community. That slavery was a choice because these niggas act brainwashed every freaking day. Like, but people trying to use that in a comparison to Drake being a pedophile is crazy to me. I'm like, you guys, that's not the gag you think it is. Like we're not defending pedophilia. We're not defending weird shit. Like, no, never. I'll defend the nigga talking stupid. I'm not defending domestic violence. I'm not defending pedophilia. I'm not defending rape. None of that stuff. Like assault. No. So his fans are crazy. Like literally grasping for straws. Like they're spiraling.
They are. Yeah. People keep replying with just one word. Yeah. Every time they say something, then everybody just keeps saying cope.
Like cry.
Just cope with what you're dealing with. So
like,
yeah, this beef escalated. I'm not surprised because we know Drake likes to push the people's buttons. I don't see a way out of this, and I think he's getting smoked in terms of the songs, the lyrical content, the rollouts, the lack of posting memes. I think everything about this is just going to get really bad for him, and I don't think that he was prepared, but he had no choice because Kendrick pulled him into this, and it was a lose-lose situation, and he's getting the worst of it, and I think it's going to continue. Supposedly Monday, there's going to be something else, and I think he might do this every single day until Canadian Father's Day, and I think honestly, I don't have nothing else to say. I want
to push the T to get back in this.
Nah, I want to turn the camera off just off the basis that like I don't even see a way out of this for him. So it's just.
I'm trying to see. Did we get anything else yet? Let's see. Cause oh yeah, see the song. There's someone said the song is the A minor.
Yeah.
The song is in the A minor key. Is it? Someone said it's B minor.
Yeah, but you got anything else on this? Basically, to summarize, Kendrick is supposedly a wife beater, and
Yeah, that's
and
the
a
thing
bad
too. Like,
deal,
and
and
like,
then,
I'm not gonna be biased. Like, okay, Drake did have some like good bars, right? I'm not gonna say he had bad bars, but yeah, the biggest thing that Kendrick has right now that could be potentially a major L from it is that like, yeah, we still like, and I still do agree. Like, if you are such a pro black man, don't be with the racially ambiguous woman, the biracial woman. Like, don't be cheating on your girl with white women. Like, live by it. Like, if for me, if you're a true like pro black, like you procreate and you live through that through and through. Like, you're all about the survival of the blackness. Like, not even on no black supremacist type of time, right? But you're just, I love black people. I love my black mother, so I'm gonna marry and date a black woman. So I do agree that whole like thing is kind of like, and with Kendrick. So that works for me, like as a diss. And yeah, I do feel like if he's potentially, the being engaged since 2015 is crazy. Like, what's the hold up? Why, like, you have no excuse to not be married when you're rich. Because most people think it's all money, right? What's your excuse? Like, so I don't like that either. The long, the 9-year engagement, and then yeah, the domestic violence stuff. Like, for me, that's like a no. Like, we're not doing that. So I hope that's not true, because that for me would be very disappointing. So.
and then for Drake, we got
Drake,
cease and desist,
cease this,
pedophilia.
yeah.
What else did he say?
Just him being a
Culture
colonizer.
vulture,
Yeah. Oh yeah, because we said the slavery bar.
Yeah. Because how does he? That's my thing.
Yeah.
We can stop because we've been rambling about this for too long.
Yeah, but Kendrick did smoke in with that response about the tying in the how Atlanta affected. How Atlanta was the big thing during the slave trade, right? And like during that time, and how Drake is literally repeating the cycle by using Atlanta to his benefit, like, and so many different people that he's tried to connect himself with to get that cosign that he's a part of the culture, right? So I was like, I'm so glad that Kendrick addressed that, because for me, I was like, are people not peeping this slavery thing? Like, I'm so glad that Kendrick addressed that. Like, out of all the things that he said, so yeah, Drake has a lot to respond to, a lot. And
I don't see a way out of that. How do you respond to the slavery thing?
I don't know. That's the thing.
And the pedophilia. I think he has to respond, but it's just nothing he could do at this point. This was like the most surgical picking apart of an individual that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. The rollout has been the best shit I've ever seen. Yeah. It might be. I'm not gonna say it's done because he has an international audience, but I think for the people that are actually a part of the culture, it's more important to have the culture than it is to have the popularity. And I think that he might lose the culture.
Yeah, and the people that's in it, and a lot of the features, like I said, might start dwindling. Like, and that's gonna hurt him more than anything. Like, you'll still have the popularity, but what he really wants and what he really needs.
Yeah,
I think
for him to sleep at night, I think it might be done.
No. Dang, who would have thought? Who would have thought this is how we would see the downfall of Drake?
Yeah, I knew it would happen.
Ooh, I love it. I've been waiting.
That's crazy work.
I haven't been waiting.
I understand it.
No, I'm kidding. I haven't been waiting, but it's just funny to finally see people. Cause like, I think him coming from Meg Thee Stallion started setting off. People were like, all right, like, why you beefing with a woman? Like, you coming from Meg, coming from Rihanna. Like, I think people have been starting to see stuff more and more, and now we're really finally getting the call out.
Like, say Rihanna's name too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he don't want the Navy on him.
Yeah, like.
You know what that would happen.
And he already is low key getting it, because they are defending ASAP. They a lot of his fans a lot of her fans like him. Like, that's the father of her kids.
Yeah, and they're cool. Like, they just look like,
and
honestly people's ideal aesthetic.
Yeah, everybody wants to be the fly couple, like the chill couple. They seem like they're chilling. They always just cool. He's always overly protective of her. Like, everybody wants that. So, and Drake himself wants that. So that's why him coming from ASAP was funny to me. Like, you call that man a fly model? Like, that's all I got from the diss. Like,
yeah,
who has a family? Like, it's just funny. So
yeah, Drake might be packed up, but we will see. This is being recorded on a Saturday. If you sat through this, you're a loser. But this is recorded on May 4th.
Yeah,
going into.
And why Nicki tweeting? Wow.
Yeah. So
Nicki stay out of it. That's another thing too. We talked about this already, but like, it's just crazy. Cause I was, oh my God, like 15-year-old me would be like, if 15-year-old me was watching this podcast, she would be like, what? Because I was the biggest Drake and Nicki fan. And it's just like, we talked about this before too, like the parallels between Drake and Nicki are so uncanny right now. Like, two outsiders of the culture who just happen to dominate it, as far as popularity goes. But realistically, our guests to this culture, like, are, and have had an impact. Have had what do you call it? Like they contributed to it, right, in a way. But there still gets at the end of the day. And I think Nikki like she talks about it all the time. Like she always talks about being an immigrant and like and bragging about it because she brings Rihanna into it, right? And that's cool, right? I'm not gonna hate on that. Like coming from nothing and building yourself, right? But I just feel like now, like seeing the parallels between them, I feel like Drake and Nicki relate to that, right? They came up together and they both are like outsiders who made them who got themselves in, right, and then dominated it in the sense of popularity, and are feeling themselves. They feeling themselves too much, and it's just funny to see like them come out like Black Americans, right, like Meg Thee Stallion and Kendrick Lamar, and like everybody saying, oh, they could talk about their foot size, Bigfoot and Littlefoot, right, like. And I just feel like they're just they're both of them are kind of too big for their britches, and they feel untouchable. And I just like, it's unfortunate because like, I was huge fans of both of them, but I really don't like, I don't like the way they're moving, or like as being goats, right? Like I feel like they're not moving humbly, and they're moving like they're untouchable, and they're both feeding into it. Like the way Nicki was talking about him at his show, like this is the best to ever do. Like in the midst of all this drama, like you're picking a side, and like fine, like that's your man's from day one, right? Like of your career, but like it's just now I'm stepping really fully into my Black Americanness and like my Black American pride. Like I really got to tell it how it is, and it's just like they're both outsiders of the culture who just feel like they dominated this shit, and I know they feeling themselves, but at the end of the day, like you're not. I don't really relate to you. Yeah, we're skin folk, right? But outside of that, I don't really relate to you. Like you can, at the end of the day, like you're not who I am. You don't have my same heritage, my same history, and you still are imitating it and assimilating it in a way. And it's just like, dang, who would have thought that I'm low key like taking a step back from both of them. Like it's been for Drake, but from even Nicki too. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like I'm seeing how you're moving. Like a lot of these, you're having beef with so many different artists. Like, hey, I don't know. So the parallels between both of them is kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
And side note, in real time, Drake, there's a picture of Drake with Karl Malone, and apparently he deleted it within the last hour. So
check that, because people said that before, that Drake turned off his comments, but he never turned off his comments.
Yeah. The way someone said his voice still has it up. Oh, Karl Malone still has the picture. Oh, it's been deleted. Look at his profile pic from the screenshot. So the same might have been deleted. Oh, it said months ago.
Yeah.
That's funny though. That he deleted months ago. It's like, is about the case? Is he's trying to clean up his image? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So let's do our fact checks. But,
yeah.
But yeah. So that's it. Drake's finished. Goodbye.
I mean, I don't think Drake's finished, but I do think that.
No, he might be. I
don't think he's finished, but I do think we're seeing like there's definitely gonna be a shift. We're gonna see a shift.
No, I think if the things that Kendrick is saying to be true, then he's literally done. Like he'll literally be in prison. But. Yeah, I'm not one of those whole career ending.
The pedophile stuff is true. Yeah, we might see the Surviving Drake documentary. We might this might be like.
It's so interesting.
R. Kelly, the Weinstein, because you see Kendrick compared him to Weinstein. Like that's a crazy allegation.
And he said that he should die.
Yeah, and saying that somebody should die means you have some information that he might have done some really fucked up shit to some woman.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna keep going because I'm tired of the topic, but. There's so many things that Drake has gotten away with, and it's so interesting to kind of see it with people being fanned out. I think the only person I could compare it to is maybe Kanye, but even then, I think the things that Drake has been able to get off is so unique, and people have allowed it to just fly, and it's so crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, you allowed P. Diddy to punch you in your face, you didn't do nothing. Mm-hmm. You got peed on in a movie theater, you didn't do anything. You didn't write back to back by yourself. You didn't write God's. It's not alleged. They wrote that. Like God's plan.
Having somebody write your diss record is so lame.
God's plan wasn't one of his biggest songs. All these different things, the tough guy shit, the mob ties thing. We got sticks. We don't run fades, but you get peed on.
Even in the music video for his diss. Who was that with the red bandana? Like I feel that was still him trying to align with like street shit, whatever that. Who was that? Toronto street gang? Who was that with the red bandana?
I don't know. Red bandana. I'm sure there's a breakdown somewhere. But yeah,
And obviously him aligning with Jay Prince, right? And that's a bar from Kendrick saying your daddy's a, what did he say? What did Kendrick say?
that
Your daddy's a what?
was he said gangster or something along the
Yeah, and
lines.
apparently people were saying that was about Jay Prince. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just like Drake is trying to, like you said, the mob ties, saying the Jay Prince thing. Like he tried to hide behind all these different street people that he's like the only reason they're like probably even quote unquote protecting him is just money. I'm sure the money talks. Money talks.
Mm-hmm.
They probably think that he's a cornball too, but money talks.
Yeah. But you got anything else?
I just can't wait to see what's next. I'm actually like nervous because it's like I just feel like the reason I'm nervous is like, well, first of all, I am nervous because of the fact that potentially this stuff could end up deadly, which I would never want, right? I don't think it should ever get to that point. But I'm nervous just on the fact that like we might really get some like altering like information, like we might really get some stuff that makes you never want to listen to a Drake song again. And like that's just would be a very unfortunate thing because like I said, like I was a Drake fan at one point. I did like a lot of his songs. A lot of his old songs do still resonate with me, like. And still like it brings me back to my high school days when I was a fan, right? And like I said, like I'm not a Drake hater. Like I'm always gonna acknowledge that he has a lot of good songs. Like he's talented, right? Like he's a talented guy. But I just think he's lame. Like I think he's corny. I think a lot of who he is corny, and like I just don't rock with that. And yeah, but we find out some shit that's like really like damn, and not even just for changing our perception of Drake, but just sympathizing with the woman who are not or on the other end of potentially some stuff that he might have done. It's just like like it's just always sad when stuff like this occurs. Like obviously the R. Kelly victims, like people whose lives are ruined forever, right? Like it's just sad. So yeah, and even with Kendrick, like I'm worried about that potentially being proven to be true. Like 'cause that for me would change my perception of him too, right? Like I would have to take a step back from listening to his stuff and being a fan of him, knowing that he's beating his girl, like he's cheating on her and stringing her along in a 9-year engagement and then beating her like that. That for me, I would be like, yeah, no, like I don't like that. Like don't do that girl like that. Like she's been riding with you and sticking by you through her prime, right? Like people like to say like she's been with you during her prime, but she could have been doing whatever and doing her, and you're gonna do her like that. So yeah, so that's what I'm worried about. But I'm also anticipating and excited to see what's next because it's like like I said earlier, I'm like trying to really sit here and acknowledge like we're living in like history. Like we might not see stuff like this ever again because who knows? Like a lot of these new age rappers aren't doing this stuff no more. Like they're killing each other in the streets. There's not anybody who's really like I don't know. Like I feel like this age of hip hop that we have, like I hope it's not the end, but I feel like with these newer younger kids, we're not getting. I'm not feeling the same towards like I don't see like who's the next Kendrick, who's the next Drake, who's the next Jay-Z. Like I'm not seeing any of that with these young guys. So it's like it's exciting right now to live in this because we weren't we were young. We were even born during the ether. We weren't even alive yet. I don't think right during all that stuff. So it was like to actually be alive during like what could be one of the most like the top hip hop moment ever in the history of hip hop. It's exciting to be a part of it. So. Just looking forward to what's next. But just hope, like I said, I'm a little scared, but still looking forward to what's next. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing. Honestly, I think.
Well, I got to wrap this up. Like, who do you think? Who do you have up right now in all this? Kendrick.
I don't think Drake can. It's one of those things where I think a lot of the information that Drake is going to try to put out and I think academics explained it well, was I think Kendrick has a lot of evidence, even if it's not the kid thing. I think that, like I said, we've seen Drake find out the girl was 17 on stage and still proceed to talk about how good her body looks and how he likes the way
her breast feels.
It feel against
like,
him.
What?
Like, so we still like, there's more actual tangible proof of the things that Kendrick is saying. Drake, he kind of just threw stuff out, and it could be true, but we don't even have any evidence of that currently. Mm-hmm. And Kendrick knows that Drake was paying for information, just like he was paying information for Pusha T.
Yeah.
And we got those actual audio recordings, so we know that that's like a thing that he does. So I think that Kendrick is so far up right now that it's not even close. I don't think I don't think that there's any way that Drake could ever recover from any of the songs that that Kendrick put out. To be honest with you, I think Meet the Grams was just a surgical, methodical, just picking apart of someone at every aspect and core of what they are. I think the last 30 seconds of that song was he could have made that last 30 seconds of the song the whole song, and I think it would have been just as effective as the 6-minute song, just from all of the stuff that he was talking about that Drake lies about.
Yeah,
because that's talking about his character, who he is as a person. And I feel like that's what made it so effective. So I think Kendrick is so far up now, he can't possibly lose this, even if he doesn't even lean into the pedophile angle either, because I think it's good that he's doing it, but he also could have smoked Drake even without doing that, to be honest with you. So I don't even think that Drake has gotten around so far. One to one, I don't think that Drake has gotten a single round.
I don't think so either, like at all. And like I mentioned earlier, I feel like
size 7 foot thing.
Like come on, like look at your jabs. And like I said before, I feel like Drake's competitors before had been like what he considered lesser than like people that he could easily like smoke. So like the Meek Mill thing, and like I said, even back then when it happened, like I like the back-to-back song was catchy, right? The beat was good. I liked it.
It was okay.
And I liked it. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it. But for me, the actual diss for me was whack. Like people still try to say to this day that it was so hard. Oh, is that your girls tour or the world tour? This ain't what I mean when I told you to open up more. Okay, cool. That bar was cool. This ain't what she meant when she told you she wants you to open up more. Fine, that's good. Could open up for the show, right? Cool. But at the end of the day, like the kicker was, is this a girl's story, world tour, whatever? That was like the kicker that everybody was repeating. For me, I was like, like that's what we're gassing up here, like. And
like, the rest of it is like, what did you say?
Nursery school rhymes, like this is like elementary school jabs. Like it was like nothing he said was that like crazy. Like, oh, he's on a tour with his wife, like with his girl, like ooh. And it was so gassed up because it was just the moment, right? Like Drake was at like his peak then, right? Like I wouldn't even say that it was his peak, but he was really getting to a pinnacle. Like he was really getting to where he's at today. Like that was like what was raising it. So I feel like it was so elevated, and I just feel like that made people feel like he won. Like for people to this day think he won that, but it's because Meek Mill, in my opinion, wasn't his equal, and it's like he's finally facing his equal, and we're finally seeing like who he really is. Like this is the reveal, like. Even when he won off of some corny shit, in my opinion. Like he didn't like it, even you know what I mean. Like, and I don't think he's really like that. And like that's what this whole point, like this whole expose day is about. Like he's not really like that at the end of the day. Like he's a pop star. He's popular, but he's not really like that. Like let's keep it what it really is. So it's like he's finally met his match. And I think Pusha T was his match too. Because Pusha T is a great artist, in my opinion, a great lyricist. So I think Pusha T was his match too. But it's because he wasn't as popular. But the thing is, Kendrick is lyrical and he's popular. So it's like you met your match. No. So it's just like, damn. Yeah. And that's why I feel like Kendrick won. Like,
there's nothing. It's over. There's nothing. There's no response Drake could give. He's better off, in my opinion, doing like a video or like tweets. I think it's better for him at this point to just stop it and just put out tweets or something to respond, because there's no, and again, I don't do this for a living, and I think writers are amazing at what they do, so maybe he could find a way to work himself out of this because that's what his job is, but I don't see a way for him to respond, because how do you stop the parallels that people are putting together? Like you're saying in these songs that a high school parking lot was looking like a strip club parking lot. Like you're talking about minors texting 13-year-old. Like even though there's still no explicit, oh, he was having sex with young girls, it's still, those things are true. Like it's not a debate. You said some of these things. You've taken these pictures. You were on stage. These things are recorded. There's nothing you can say to reply to that. So if Kendrick just keeps pushing the button on that over and over and over and over and over again, and Drake never replies to it, which I don't think he can, there's no recovering from that. I think this is over.
That's why I feel the angle is now. The angle is now, okay, we're going to lean into this pedophile stuff. Like the cover art obviously said everything that we needed to say. Like he's going to lean into that because he knows that Drake can't say nothing.
He can't say it. Cause, go ahead. Like I want to see what he says.
Oh, I'm not a pedophile.
Yeah, it's like.
And then Kendrick comes back and says, he's probably going to start bringing the stranger things and the girl. He's going to start saying mad stuff. Damn, it's over for really.
Yeah, I think this was
like I'm anticipating more because I think that's the thing. I think Kendrick's still gonna drop. I think he's still gonna drop to be funny. This shit's about to be funny.
He might have dropped right now.
That's what I'm saying. We don't even know. Like
Yeah,
we
but
don't hear.
we're almost an hour and a half in on Drake. Do we even have anything else to talk about?
Yeah. What else even happened? This has been like the highlight of everything in pop culture.
Yeah, in culture right now.
I mean, we have JT and Sukihana fighting, but who cares about that?
Yeah, that
And
wound
Ice
up-
Spice got exposed for calling Nicki ungrateful and delusional, which after watching that Armand's video today, Armand Wiggins, like, I don't necessarily think. Well, first of all, we could talk about the fact that like exposing your friend when you fall out like that is crazy. Like unless your friend did something egregious to you, like for me, I don't believe exposing anybody unless that friend did something egregious to you, unless she hurt you so bad, betrayed you, did some grimy shit. I follow people and still have their secrets. Even people that did grimy shit, I still have their secrets. But like that was crazy. Her exposing all that. Like let's talk about that. Like exposing your friend like that is wild. But I do think Nicki had, like I said, her and Drake are the two sides of the same coin. I do think she has this entitlement, and that she's trying to really push this record label, and she wants to sign all these people and get all their publishing, and get all their money, and try to like kind of like play them in my eyes a bit. So I'm proud of Ice Spice for having a good team and standing up for herself. I do think some of these girls do use Nicki to their advantage, and I think two things could be true. But I do feel like Nicki is, a little bit high on her horses, and I feel like everybody can't be
You were
crazy.
so country. High on her horses?
I got country roots, Mississippi, South
Nah,
Carolina.
it's on her high horse. The phrase is on her high horse, sweetie. You were so country. You be straight from Mississippi sometimes.
I am Mississippi.
You said something the other day that was nuts. But anyway, go ahead. I forgot what you said. I said what?
Wait, what did
that
I
was mad
say?
funny. I said what?
I was like, oh yeah, didn't say I don't dig.
I don't dig.
I'm not digging this.
I ain't digging that. I'm like, now you from the 70s from New York? Like, what is
I was
happening?
like, where did that come from?
I'm not digging it. It's crazy. That's not even in your vocabulary. But go ahead.
But yeah, like I do feel like Nicki is too, like I don't know. She thinks she's untouchable. She thinks she's a queen, and I guess you could say she is, right? But like, I feel like trying to sign all these
the diva
girls,
complex, because that's the same thing
complex.
about
So,
like
you can't
Mariah
expect-
Carey was notorious to be like that.
Yeah, and like, come on, you can't expect all
Madonna.
these girls to just sign to. Like, this is their livelihood. This is their money. Like, yeah, I feel like she might be like, damn, you guys don't trust me. I thought we was friends. Do you like me? You don't trust me. You don't want to stand behind me and grow with me and grow this label. I get that. I get it.
I think
but
it's-
at the same time, you can't expect every woman that does a collab with you to now she got to sign with you, and then if she doesn't, now you're mad. Like that's crazy.
I think it's the jealousy thing, and this is why
I think
it
it is
was also
jealousy.
like the confusing angle that Drake took about the splits conversation when it comes to music.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a known fact that Lil Wayne, his ear, what he was able to do. I mean, people could say what they want about Tyga, but Tyga keeps a hit.
Yeah.
Drake, Nicki, like he had a lot of artists, people that he worked with that ended up being very successful. So people wanted to work with him, but unfortunately, because of Lil Wayne's relationship with Birdman, Wayne was signed to Birdman, and Birdman was signed to the major label, and then everybody else signed to Lil Wayne. So you have this long lineage of every single one of those people is getting a cut out of your deal. So Nicki and Drake notoriously have had a bad historical deal, because what happens is it's kind of like the thing with Carl Crawford and Meg Thee Stallion. Like Meg was trying to Carl Crawford had the money and the funding. He kind of really helped to put her on, and that's an investment, and then the investment blows up because she's successful. Why would he ever change the deal? Like, he fronted all of the money, he had all the resources. Why would he ever change that deal? So it's kind of like the same thing with like Birdman, Wayne. Like, they put you on this platform, and while of course you're bringing your talent, you're also bringing your potential, but your potential it doesn't exist unless that person puts you on, basically. So like, if they're putting you on, they do deserve that. If you were able to get it on your own, of course you deserve it, but you weren't able to get it on your own, even with your talent.
Yeah.
So I think with her, she's jealous of that, because people have been able to get on with their talents because of the internet.
Yeah. And they didn't have that.
But she had to go through the crazy splits and the
that's
alleged 360.
Yeah, and so like she wants other people to go through that. Like that's what Armand was saying today. Like he said he feels like Nikki's the type of person, or I don't know if he said it or if somebody in his comments said it. They said that she's the type of person that would be like she would be the type of person that would say like, if we had student loan forgiveness. Oh, I had to pay for my loans. Like she would be one of those type of people. Like, bitch, we don't care about what you do with Wayne and how you signed the deal, and we don't care about that. Like, this is the new generation. They learned better. So now this people owning their masters is a trend now. Like,
it's kind of like the same thing that Mace did to Fabio. Like Mace notoriously, him and P Diddy were just going at it they've been going at it for 20 years about Diddy owning all his masters, and Diddy kept owning all of Biggie's masters even after he died, but he gave them back to the family supposedly. And Mace hated Diddy for him taking all his money and just having ownership over all his songs, and Diddy never gave them back until I think recently. And even then, I don't even know if that's true. But then what does he do? He turns around and does the same thing to Fabio and took 50% of his money because Fabio signed to him. So it's like it's the same thing. It's like the older generation is upset because they didn't have the knowledge and the game was just different, and they got jacked for their ownership of their music. So then when their time to be in an executive position, and they just do the same thing, and they're jealous of people being able to own their masters and really put their family in positions that they couldn't. So I think it's a similar thing.
It's so crazy. Cause realistically, like I mean, like we're only 27, right? I don't consider us like older yet, right? But I even when I see the younger people, like I don't be jealous. Like I see all these girls, how I'm like, oh my god, these girls look so good like during their proms, right? Because like they know how to do makeup better than my generation, like our generation, right? Like the makeup skills are better. There's so much more access to how to do your makeup, so much more access to how to do your hair. Like my prom pictures were okay, they were cute, like my prom look, but the makeup wasn't that great, right? Cause I didn't have the skill yet. Like the trends were just different. But I don't look at these people and then I'm not hating. Like I'm like, damn, they look good. Like I don't ever see myself being that bitter old person like hating on the next generation. Like I love to see the growth. I'm happy for these people that they could look back at their prime pictures and probably like really love them. Like you know what I mean? Like
yeah, I would never hate on
the hating on the younger people. It's crazy so cringe.
To me.
Like every generation is gonna have better and better.
I remember being that kid. Yeah. And not that we're old now, but I remember being the younger teenager.
And dealing with the hating ass.
And like the skinny jeans and like we used to wear the crazy glasses, like all the different stuff that we're getting hated on. It's like we were trying to be innovative during that time.
Yeah.
Like, so me being older now and probably aging out of some of those different things, I'm not gonna hate on it. The kids be turned, like the streaming stuff, the video games, like the culture, the memes, like all that kind of stuff. I have crazy respect for all that stuff because that's the same stuff we were doing when we was on Vine and we were in high school recording Vines. Now they're recording TikToks. It's all these parallels. I'll never hate on the younger generation. Like they're the ones that come up with a lot of these ideas anyway. Like that's why there's always in fashion, it's like, oh, we got to see what the youth is doing. Skateboard culture, all these different things when it comes to fashion. Like a lot of that stuff comes from the youth. Yeah. So I'm not gonna hate on somebody just because they might have been. Cause that's so whack.
It's so whack. Like, you had your time. Like when you should want better for the next.
My parents, for example, right? Like, and this should go for everybody's parents. I would hope if they're in a good situation. But when I have the 7-year difference age between me and my brother. So technically, because there was a 7-year age gap, my parents were 7 more years advanced in their career. Yeah. For him than they were for me. So they had more money. So there was more availability to do a lot more things and buy him more stuff. It would be so, like, I can't even think of a word. Like, I hate using the word egregious so much, but egregious, asinine, just whatever word you want to use. If I was to sit there and say that I'm hating on my brother because he was able to do something that I couldn't do when I was a kid, that's so crazy to me. Like,
and that's why it's even crazy when we see sometimes that actually parents actually end up hating on their kids. Like mothers hating on their daughters, dads hating on their sons. Like that shit is so weird. Like you gave birth. That's your seed. Yeah. It's not the point. Like don't you want their lives to be better than yours? Like isn't that the point? Like I'm so confused. Why are you hating on them? Why are you comparing yourself to them? Like.
Nah, the TikTok stuff, the creativity that people are coming up with in younger generations is like, is very admirable because it's the same stuff that we used to do. And I sound like I'm an old head, even though I'm really not. I'm still young. Yeah. But it's just like the hate, because I see it all the time. Like with
it's
older
sad.
people, it's
and
like with the music too. Like stop, like shut up.
And I always say like too, like we're starting to see it because like I was like all of our peers are like at this point they're 28, right? We're the youngest of our group. Like we're still 27. Like all of our peers are already 28. I know one of my peers is literally turning 29 in October, which is insane, right? Like it's sad because we're starting to see the hating coming from them, right? Like, cause they're they feel like they're aging out. They don't look. Some of them don't look as good as they used to, right? They're not in like happy relationships. They're not where they want to be in their lives. So we're starting to see the hating already from like our own age group, and it's so sad to see. I'm like, damn, like we were just there a few years ago, and now we're starting already. I can never see myself being that. A bitter older person, like hating on the next person, wanting somebody to go through what I went through. That's so lame.
That's such a nasty
It's so
behavior.
lame.
But
So Nikki,
anyway.
Nikki, damn, who would have saw today? 15-year-old Malika, if you watching this, I wish you could watch this. Like, damn, she would be like, what? I was Nicki Minaj back in the day. Now I'm like, damn, all these people are lame and weirdos.
I'm so glad I'm not fanned out because with all this beef and the way the internet works now,
Yeah.
you can see how fanned out people are, and I'm so glad I don't look like that.
Yeah, some people are too fanned
It's
out.
so far
it's
gone.
so like, you don't know this man. You don't. Or woman.
They're not friends with you.
They don't know you. They probably don't like you. They would, if you knew them in real life, you probably wouldn't like them, and they probably wouldn't like you. Like, these are still humans at the end of the day. They're just talented. They just have talent. They just have skills. And that's the thing. There's so many talented people who will never be famous. So it's like they're not any different. They just haven't got, noticed. They just haven't got discovered.
Yeah.
Like, these are still regular people at the end of the day. These are still human beings. Like, let's just get grounded for a second and really realize they bleed, they'll die, they get sick, like just like the rest of us. So, and they're weird, just like many of the people that you know in real life are weird, and just like maybe you are weird. They're weird too. Like,
people get ab surgeries.
like
Take Ozempic. Anyway, got anything else?
nah, I mean, this whole episode was just rappers, beefs, jealousy, hating. I just can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah.
See what we got to say in a week from now.
Yeah. My brother just texted me. I thought he was saying somebody dropped.
God. Yeah, because your brother's been on it too. Literally every time I'm like, oh my God, Kendrick dropped. And his brother literally texts like 2 seconds after I say it.
Yeah. But that's it for this episode. It's been a relatively short episode because we just had to break it down.
Yeah.
But can't wait to see what happens next, and then we'll see what happens on Monday when Drake or Kendrick supposedly drops, and Drake now he's gonna be on the clock. Now it's like
come on, we waiting, Drake. We waiting.
Kendrick is really pressing him too. That's crazy.
I get it. Come for him. Oh man, it's over for you. Might be crash out dummy. I'm gonna have your last name.
Wait, what happened?
I said if someone comes for you, like I get
Oh,
it. I'm on
like,
my Kendrick. If someone comes for you at this point in our lives and this point in our relationship, like I'm about to have your whole name, your whole lineage is about to be like, I'm about to be a part of that. Like people who done it in the past, you lucky we were just waving a girlfriend. Do it now, oh, I might pull up to your house. Like it might be, I'll go to jail. I don't care behind him. So I get it, Kendrick. I do.
I was about to say something so crazy. I don't know at what point the camera cut off.
I think you said I might say something crazy and the camera like
the camera literally just shut off. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it.
Nah, but we feel it. We feel it. 'Cause we know what that emotion feels like of being in like a relationship that has depth. So
yeah, I'll be having bad thoughts. Anyway,
honestly, I really do be understanding how some people be going to jail behind stuff because it's like I don't give a fuck. I'll go to jail for the rest of my life behind some shit at this point in my life. For like realistically, you built this. I built this shit. Me, brick by brick, literally. So
it's funny you say that because I did tell you one thing, and then you were like, I was being dramatic. But I'm not gonna say that.
You tell off camera. I don't know what you're talking
about. But anyway, this has been a Couple of Things podcast where we talk about a couple of things, and we will see y'all next week.
It's gleaming.
Yeah.